Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. My name is Barry and I am from Mitosu Crafts. And welcome to the Stamp Around UK video hop. The theme for this month is New Beginnings. Okay, so I'm going to be making you a lovely 2022-2023 Happy New Year card, which I thought was quite fitting for this theme. So yes, that's what I'm going to be making. It's kind of, I don't really know what it's, just like a spinner reveal card. I'm not really sure what the name is as of yet, but I'm sure when this video has gone live, I will do. Yes, so remember, this is a video hop, so all the links to everyone else's videos can be found down below in the description. Okay, so do go ahead and check out everyone else that has created a card or a project for this month. It's as I said, it's all new beginnings, and we don't know what anyone is making, so everyone's cards are going to be completely different. So we're going to have use different sets, different techniques, completely different ideas. So do go ahead, remember, check those out down below in the description as well for the rest of the design team. So anyway, I'm going to crack on, and let's first of all show you what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using several products. I'm going to be using some designer series papers. Put my teeth in, shall I? The country gingham paper, which is this one right here. This is this lovely gingham paper, so it's got your reds, it's got your purples, it's got your blues in here, it's got your pinks, greens, so it's got some really lovely patterns. It's got a big pattern and a light smaller pattern on one side. So that is the country gingham designer series paper that is going to be available in the new mini catalogue, available from the 4th of January. I'm also going to be using, all of this actually is available from the new mini catalogue. I'm also going to be using the new Alphabest stamp set here to create the word happy. So I'm going to be using an outline and the letters right here. I'm also going to be using the Alphabet Alamode dies. So these are ones which are these lovely thin letters and numbers. So that's what I'm going to be using for that one, for the 2022 and 2023. And I'm going to be using this cute and adorable Owls stamp as well. This one right here, and the Hoot Hoot. This is available. This is a free stamp set which you can only earn during celebration during January and February of 2023 as well. So I'm going to be using those. So that's the products which I'm going to be using. Also going to be using some tools. Some adhesive sheets is going to be used. I'm going to be using a selection of Stampin blends, which I've already pre-coloured some stuff, and the punch comes with the Alphabest as well. So if you wanted that one and you wanted to punch stuff out, you can punch these little bits out right here. So they're the tools which I have used for this, or I will be using. Card I'm going to be using as well is going to be some Pacific Point cardstock, and I'm going to be using the Balmy Blue pattern for the designer series paper. So let's just go through what you will need on those ones. So you will need to have your card base here, which is our standard, which we do this one here at 14 centimetres by 21 centimetres, scored in half at 10.5. You will need two pieces here measuring 5 centimetres by 12 centimetres, two of those. And you also need another two measuring 5 centimetres by 9.5 centimetres, two of those as well. When it comes to designer series paper, you will need one piece here measuring 10.2 by 13.7 centimetres. You will also need another two pieces measuring 4.6 by 4.6. And you will need one piece measuring 4.6 by 6.7. And another piece measuring 4.6 by 4.3. I think I've probably got, 4.6 is that way, 4.3 is that way, right there. So that's what you need for those. So let's just go ahead and crack on with the card base and this bit first. This is the easiest part of everything. I'm just going to fold and burnish my card base, and I'm going to stick this directly down onto my base. So to make this video a little bit quicker, I have gone ahead and I've gone and pre-done some of the elements, so the colouring of the owl, and punched and stamped a lot of the stuff, so you haven't got to sit here and watch me do it. Okay, because the main thing you're going to want to know is how the construction of this card is going to work. So we'll stick that one to that one there. That has gone onto the front. Okay, so the next part we want to do is we want to move on to the technical part. So we're going to take these pieces which we cut out, so the 5x12 and the 5x9.5. Going to work on the 5x12 first. What we want to do is grab yourself a pencil and a ruler, and we want to then mark in from the left or the right, it doesn't matter. We want to basically find the centre, 2.5 centimetres in from the side. Okay, so this is the big one first, so 2.5 centimetres in from the side. Pop a pencil mark. Then what we want to do is pop a cut line in from one side to that, and then on the opposite, and then whatever side you do the cut line, you then want to do it on the opposite side on the other one. So line it up at 2.5 centimetres, and then go in to your cut line. Doesn't matter if you go a little bit further over it, it's not a major issue, but it's not too far over, okay? And then do the same on the opposite one, but do it from the opposite side. So I've cut from this side up, in, so I'm going to go down to the centre. So line it up at 2.5 centimetres, and then come down like so. Okay, so that's those ones like that. What you then want to do is we then want to pop, it might just be handy if you were just to write R on this one and left on that one right there, and R and an L just for your help. And we also want to make sure, I'm going to pop a little cross on that one, and I'm going to pop a cross on that one, because this is where I want, the ones where I put the cross on is where I want to pop my paper when I stick it down. So left and right, mark it out, and then put up a cross on this one on the top one. So the one which has got the cut line coming in from the right hand side in, pop a cross on the top, and the one which has got your cut coming in from the left in, pop a cross on your bottom. So that's going to be designer series paper there and designer series paper right there. Okay, so pop those to one side. Then we want to take this one here, and the same thing is we want to grab our ruler and we want to measure in 2.5 centimetres in from the top this time. That way in there, and that one there. And then what we want to do is we then want to cut down 2.5 centimetres down to that pencil line. Again, if it's a little bit further over, not a major issue. So we've got that one right there. And then with this one, line it up at 2.5 centimetres and then cut up to that pencil line. So you've got those ones there. So these ones here will then interlock like so, okay? And then these ones here will interlock like this as well, okay? So you can just have a little look at that and just see if that's flush. Take those apart for one moment, okay? And again, what we want to do is we want to pop a cross on this one here, because this is the one which I want my designer series paper on, and then I want to pop a cross on this one here because I want to put designer series paper on that one. So the one which has got your thin, the smaller cut line in it, pop a cross on there, and the big cut line, pop a cross down on the bottom, down there. Okay, pop those to one side. Good. So take your designer series paper which you've gone and cut, and you want the pieces which you've got the two which are exactly the same. So the 4.6 by the 4.6. I'm going to take my pre-cut stuff, so you can see this is all the stuff which I've pre-cut. So I've gone and cut and coloured this lovely owl, and I've gone and cut the sentiment out, hoot hoot, which is going to go on like that. So there is, it does say hoot hoot, you're so cute, but I figured for this we're celebrating New Year, so it's just hoot hoot. So we're just celebrating. So I just stamped that without and then cut away the centre part. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my other pieces. So I've got my 2022, my 2023 here. And then I've got my letters. So this is done with the alphabet dies. So I've got the happy. So these have already been pre-stamped and punched and I've done them in Versamark and then heat embossed them with white embossing powder, so just to spell out happy. So that's all the pieces which I have got like that. Okay, so what we want to do with our numbers is grab your take your pick tool, and we want to stick these. I found out to stick these to this first. Now, on my prototype, this is what I forgot to do, and I had to then stick them down whilst I'd already cut them in half. So I've gone and backed these with the adhesive sheets. This is making this a lot easier to do because there's adhesive along all of them. So worthwhile having that. And then we then pop our 2022 down like that. Try and get them on as straight as you can. And you do this for both of them. So pop your 2022 on one, and then you guessed it, do your 2023 on the other. So there we have it. So that's my 2022 and 2023. So what we want to do now is we just now want to cut these in half. So grab your trimmer again, and we want to just cut them down straight down. So these are 4.6. We want to cut these at 2.3 in half. So line it up at 2.3 and then just cut through. Okay. And the same with my 2022. So line it up at 2.3 and cut it. There we have it. Okay. Now I did that on my prototype. I did that afterwards, cut up the paper and then had to stick them down, which was a nightmare. So do it that way first. So this is the technical part. We want to work with a 2022 first, which is this one right here. And what I want to do is I want to stick the 2022, the top part of the 22 on this one here. And then the bottom part is going to go on that one right there. Okay, so let's grab my glue first. And you want to butt it up against the, you want to try and get it up to the line as close as you possibly can. Maybe a tiny, tiny little gap, but not too much because you kind of want them to join together. So pop some glue on that here. Try and work with an even border left on the right and the bottom. And I've kind of taken it up to that cut line. And this is why I like working with liquid glue, because it gives you that little bit of wiggle room on this. Okay, just come down a fraction. And then you then want to do the same on this one. So what you could do on this is you could now stick this one together. Take your 22, the top part of your 22. And then you can then stick that down like that. Okay, so that's how that's looking. So you've got your, when we put a cross on that one and a cross on that one there. So that gives you a little bit of guidance. So pop those ones to one side, then bring these ones in right here. And then we then want to pop our 23 at the bottom and our 22, sorry, and our top part of the 23 at the top right here. So you are going to be looking for, let's work with the top one at the moment. Again, I'm looking for an even border, left, right, and top on this one. Just so it is pleasing to the eye. Bringing that down to that cut line. Or as best as you possibly can. Okay. And then you can pop these ones together if you want to. And then we can then pop the bottom part of the 23 down here like that. A little bit of a gap if you need be, just so, because we want it to, we need it to move in a moment. So good, there is that and that. Perfect. So that all looks really, really complicated, doesn't it? Trust me, well, it isn't, not really. So that's those ones. What we want to do now, okay, is now put this together. So this is what we want to now do, is we want to put the 2022 together. So the one which has got your biggest slit in it, slide that one in needs to go be on top, okay? Then you then want to then take your 23, the one with this one here, and you want to slide it between the first and the second ones, and then so that it interacts, and then that slice goes over and then goes like that. Then your the bottom part, your 23, you want to take the top one, the top two, so those ones there, and then slide this one in between like that, which then gives you your 23. Now, if this has all worked correctly, this will now turn round and reveal the 2022, and then when they pull this down, it then goes 2023. Okay, so that's how that works. So pop that back in your 2022 position, grab your glue again. So now we want to secure this. So this top one here, pop some glue on that, and then stick that together, and then lining that up and making sure that there is all nice and tidy. And the same on the back, pop some glue on that back piece and then stick it together. And this is it, this is the technical part done. So if you've mastered that, if you've got that part done, then you're winning. So you may need to pause and restart the video several times just to work out how that's done, because that's what I needed to do. And then this top piece, okay, we can then stick all of this together here. Like so, and then making sure that everything looks nice, because if everything is nice and tidy, then the whole thing should work quite well. There we go. So we have 2022, 2023. Perfect. So that's those ones. What we can do with these other designer series papers. So this one here is good to go down flat. Don't stick the other one down just yet. So the top of the biggest piece can go down as is. Okay, so that can go down like that. With this one here, what we need to do is we need to cut this in half. So make sure, because this is a slightly odd shape, we need to cut it in half along, or not in half, we need to just basically nick out a little bit. So we need to just cut in about so far, just so that it allows the mechanism to move. So you want to go cut a little slip off at half of 4.6, which is 2.3, then you can then use your trimmer to come in a little bit. That will now line that up correctly, because that cut line will then be in line with that cut line there. Then you can go ahead and you can stick that down. Making sure that cut line is in line with each other, because that part there comes out from it. And if you stuck all of that down, then it wouldn't move, it would tear. Okay, so that's why you just need to make sure that you just compensate for that. And there we have it. So what I would do now is I would stick this down onto the card like this. So now there's a part of me thinking to myself, I need to pop this onto some dimensionals. And I'm going to just pop the dimensionals on here. No, actually, I can't do that on dimensionals. See, I'm going off piece now. I think, oh, it would look good on dimensionals. The bottom part will look good on dimensionals, but you need to make sure that you don't stick things down. So there's the elements which need to be secured is this side only, because this whole thing here needs to move. Okay, so you can't even, because you can see on the back here these two pieces are moving, And if we stick this down to the card, then nothing is going to move. So you can only stick this side of this down, okay? So pop some glue. So it won't work on dimensionals. Again, I was going off piece. And you stick that down onto your card like that. And then that there goes on like that. All right, so that's size ones. Then what you can do is you can then stick your dimensionals on your pieces right here. And we're going to stick happy down here. So get your placement right first. I would say work on the placement on from the bottom up, I would suggest. So let's work with my Y first. So now I know the owl is going to go upside down once this is turned, but the card can't be displayed with the 23 showing. So it's going to be displayed like this. So there we have our new beginnings. So saying goodbye to 2022 and hello to 2023. And what they do is they turn that round there like that. And then you've got your 23. Can you just see, what I would do is I would do the sellotape technique. If I was to do the numbers again, I would do the backing paper on one, cover these in a sellotape, so then they've got a protection layer, and then cut them out, and then it will stop this from fraying here. That's just my little bit there, which I would just recommend to you, because as you do things, they tend to lift off. So just be careful with that. Okay, so in like that, and then turn around like that. Okay, so yeah, just protect your numbers a little bit more to stop it from fraying here. It's because there's, or if you could write them on, great, but if you're using these as a die cut, then yeah, just protect the outer layer is just my recommendation to you. And there we have it. Reveal happy 2023. And there we go. Another thing you could do is this one could go here as well if you want to. And that's that. And then that opens up like so, and will be displayed like that on someone's side. But then there we go. I think that's amazing. I love it. So that there is my card. Thank you so much for watching. As I say, remember, this is a video hop, so everyone else's links can be found down below. So go and have a little look at what they have all gone and done for their theme of new beginnings. But I've hoped you've enjoyed my spinner reveal card. And yes, we will see you again at the 1st of next month. So that will be February 2023. We will see you for another Stampin' Around UK video hop. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you again soon, and Happy New Year to you all. See you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.